Alright, welcome back and welcome to map 1. To clarify, the vetoes were K23 picking Nuke, Mirage picked up by Sprout, and then Inferno, if required, to be the decider between these two rosters. So of course we're going to see K23 starting out over on the T side of things. They're going to make some early presence. They actually want to drop Mini to start things off. Pop Flash to get them round the corner. A couple of strafes as Power's already found a head. Quick trade at least from Refresh, but immediately the frags start flowing back their way. 2-for-2 trade from Slacks, but again, immediately Clax is there with another headshot. And the only problem now for this T side is that bomb is dropped outside.
Yeah, but are Sprout really in a position to hold it? Obviously, Slacks has gone around towards Secret, so this is a pretty decent position, actually, now that I mention it. Siphon pushing Lobby won't really be able to assist them, but if Slacks can just hold off for a while, long enough at least for him to wrap all the way around on outside, then they may at least be able to get a couple of picks before giving this bomb back over. As you can see, K23 having to be pretty slow themselves about the way they approach it, waiting for their own flank to come up through Secret. And I do believe Slacks is at least watching for it.
He's thinking about it. He's aware of the possibility, but he gets his head taken off. And it's all on to Zyphon in the 1v3. Finds the initial kill onto Clax. That bomb still at his feet. And these players still a little bit isolated. There's 1v1s to be had. And Zyphon clicks away looking for the final kill. Finnegan stands between him, sets himself on the angle. The problem is Finnegan's got to be the aggressor here. He's got to be the one to push forward. And now his position known, out to credit. He continues trying to swing. He knows he's got to get involved in this fight, both on the USPs, so the range really not an issue. And Finnegan trying to hunt his man down. Zyphon just dancing with him, and the spam down connects. What a round to open things up.
Yeah, the 1 versus 3. The Vice going on here. It's been a little while, Wolfie, has it? Get some
Oh
water
yeah,
into you
I'm
there.
dying.
That doesn't sound good. We'll give you a moment to get a nice cold drink into you, but that was nasty. Slacks went down before he even got that first kill on the player over towards the garage. Definitely could have waited and taken the fight a bit more together to peek up through Secret, for example. To be fair, though, it can be difficult to actually create angles together at that point. Zyphon had a strong position in order to separate the fights. Looking like a straight-up eco rush in this round. They haven't really invested much, and, well, thankfully so, because they get destroyed as they try and make their way outdoors. Zyphon gets most of the money with that FAMAS, but the MP9s get a little bit of the action as well. It's going to be 2-0 for Sprout here in the beginning. But they were doing amazing yesterday in terms of being able to get these strong starts and such in their game versus Entropic. So I'm hoping today this is something that they'll be able to continue on past the initial few rounds.
Fingers crossed. My voice has returned to me. We'll see if that continues long term or if we're going to have this problem continuously, but here we are, K23.
See what this good round does to you.
Yeah, we'll see. First full rifle buyout. Good utility across the board. Early spam connects decently onto Refresh as well, down to 41 on that MP9 as he tucks himself into those vents. A little bit of a bonus round carried through here from Sprout. Handful of those MP9s remaining. Scout in the hand of Slacks. Although perfectly capable with that weapon, of course. Finnegan has gone down in the opening exchanges. Man advantage. Not sure how that was found, but found nonetheless. Lauren X, as I try and learn his new pronunciation, just dancing around the boxes. And it looks like he is going to be put under pressure here. Bomb, with the support of Clax, is starting to make its way in towards the ramp. Looking for that split down into the lower site. Nice flash in towards outside, though. Refresh gets the freebie and gets information as well. Pinging out a Secret. Knows there's nobody else home, so now they know exactly what's coming. Lauren X trying to get the spray down, can't connect it. And that puts pressure onto Slacks. Nice shot for one. Another player up close and personal to deal with, though, is going to get nasty. Zapower trying to hunt his man down. Won't find the shot. Slacks like lightning. And Zyphon cleans up the last kill in towards that lower site as well. That's gone very smoothly for the CT side.
The ball's on Slacks to refight that. Quick pre-fire, quick scope of the Scout. Facing back into the angle, knowing he was up against an AK, and, well, it's no trouble at all for Slacks. He had a few moments yesterday, I recall, on the Scout as well, where he really started popping off. For now, though, he's happy with an AK that he's been gifted. Full rifles across the board. The only weak weapon actually retained, even, is that FAMAS for Zyphon, and even then, it's an eco, of course, coming through. Only pistols and Kevlar on a few of the players, so in theory, Sprout have a chance here to potentially take another clean round, keep on building that economy, and that point put K23 in a pretty worrying position. It's still early days, but you do want to at least try and get something in these early rounds to try and build off of, even if you're not winning rounds.
At least one frag found towards outside, so Power has managed to take out Stare, and this time he's going to be everything. That bomb drops awkwardly, top site as they try and dive down. Slacks deals with Clax in towards lower as well. There's a tongue twister for you as X5 and Zapower now left with those Deagles to try and find some impact. Nice headshot onto Zyphon. And with Slacks low on HP, this one's not done yet. Refresh dropping into the site, trying to provide support. They know they've got that bomb, but with two players in lower, it does leave an isolated fight for the time being. Timings are going to be everything as they're working their way out. Refresh gives his head up, and X5 finds another. This gets interesting now. Zapower on the flank, and if his timing's good, there's a gift on the table here. Should have one for free, but it's a whiffed old shot. And now this gets ugly. X5 tries to swing it, but the trade is there. And Lawrence knows exactly where to look for this last man. It's Zapower on the Deagle, trying to spam away. Needs the clean headshot, and he can't quite find it. The half by very nearly working for K23, but Sprout survive.
Yeah, not building up as much money as they would have hoped for, but they already had a decent amount in the reserve, so reinvestments won't cost them too much. Slacks goes in on his op as well. They do lose this one. Refresh should be the only one who's really struggling with the economy, but obviously they'll be focused on trying to keep this pretty solid start that they've got for themselves up. Outside control looks to be the initial goal. Rasian eats a bit of a nade, but doesn't do too much damage. Instead, the initial kill actually comes in from Clax, I believe around ramp.
Looks that way. You can see the gap. Potentially outside? Not too sure. We'll leave it. 4 on 5 for Sprout to deal with.
But aggression. That's what it must have been, because it's the only place you could have got back to so quickly.
It looks like,
ramp.
nah, it looks like a squeaky dive spam. I can see the X on the minimap now. They have got lower side control, though. As we get back into the action. Refresh picking up the dropped AWP. Problem is, as always on Nuke, as soon as you're in this 4 on 5 as a CT side, you do have to concede map control, and we're seeing exactly that here. Ramp given up. Refresh does pick off one. So they look to charge down Secret, but the site has been conceded in amongst this melee. And that opens up a flanking opportunity. You can see Sprout are aware of the possibility, but Refresh not quick enough on the draw. Stare doing what he can to keep his team in this. But it's an even 3 on 3. Lower site completely lost. With Stare on low HP, the only man close to this bomb site at the moment. How do you even dream about getting into this retake if you're Sprout?
I mean, they have a bit of money. They might just throw themselves at it for the sake of giving it a go. Molly slowing them down, unfortunately, and giving Clax a nice opportunity to initially take that 1-versus-1 on Zyphon. And as soon as he pops his head, it looks like everyone else has decided they wanted to try and give up and save the weapons, but it's not really been allowed to happen. Stare might make it away if he runs right now, but the bomb explosion may just take him out either way. So yeah, I think he was kind of doomed at that point. It's X5 with the final kill. It's a round on the board here for K23. A decent start to their T side after having some early stumbles. But now we need to find out if that's a performance that they can replicate. They're going to need to start chaining the rounds together. And if they can do it here in their second round, they'll fully break down Sprout and have a real opportunity to build up this T side.
Starting to see why they picked into this. A much better look from them in that round with the early pick. A little opportunistic, sure. The Slacks goes down, able to work that map control brilliantly. Stare, well, he wants to take the fight to them this time. Slacks with him to join. Does manage to pick off Finnegan in these opening moments up on top of the silo, which opens up an alleyway for Stare to aggress, but he can't connect the shot. X5 able to put him down. And that starts to scramble these rotations again. Outside control a major concern as Slacks does manage to post his ult before they cross. Already again, you're starting to see this CT defense looking a little thinly stretched. Fresh on just an MP9, trying to work his way in towards Secret, provide some support to the AWP. Pop flash to get him out, nothing seen yet, but he gets a little too keen. And now Slacks under pressure has got a lot to do. Lands the first, spots the cross, but loses his teammate. And Rasian able to find a double before he's traded down. Absolute chaos across the map, and they know they've lost ramp as well, but Clax is charging on through, and Slacks able to respond. So Power left in the 1v2. AWP in his hands at the very least. Bomb on his back to join him. And an opportunity again to split the difference between these CT defenders. Slacks posted on A. The MP9 have refreshed down lower. And it's a matter of which is the better pick at the moment. So Power fancies that lower site, and he may well get his opportunity.
Yeah, the time not ideal though, so he will need to get a move on here. Working his way in towards A, where Slacks should have a decent position actually to put a stop to this. The question is, does E-Power check the angle beforehand? Might just have to stick to this bomb plant in a secure position. The problem is Slacks has the opportunity to move in, just about makes it around and misses the shot as Z-Power gets the bomb down. The no-scope not going to land on the first try. The follow-up is there, but he doesn't expect refresh so fast in behind. Ready for that trade kill, and of course loads of time for the defuse and the op to be recovered. So another round on the board coming through for Sprout. It's a very close one, and Z-Power gives it his best shot. And at least with that bomb plant will secure them another buy here. They would have been lacking on 2 players without it. But still, they're down 5-1. It is obviously still the T side of Nuke. It's relatively early days, but you do not want to let Sprout get out of control because they are one of those teams that can really rely on momentum. And once they get the confidence going, it can be hard to stop them. Although we've seen yesterday, once you do stop them, it can completely vanish.
We've been there plenty of times before. Little unfortunate for Slacks there, you have to say, to leg up the power inside of the site and not find the conversion. But fast play this time from the T side. Pop into that upper site, spray down good from Stair. And Slacks is there to chip away as well. Resisted the initial thrust into upper well. With just 2 players left alive now, it really falls onto Zapower with Finnegan down on 10 HP. If they want to have anything to do with this round, it's going to have to be up to him. I think Finnegan has already decided he wants nothing more to do with this round as he makes his way deep in towards spawn. Zapower may be hoping to get something out of this occasion, a pick at least before he falls away on that AWP, aware that allowing 4 players to be alive, well, it's an economic nightmare for the T's to try and contend with. They know where he is, though. He's been spotted out by the shoulder peaks of Refresh, and as he tries to work his way out onto this upper site, Snare's not looking. Freebie looks for the no-scope and won't connect. It's a 1-for-1 trade, and to be honest, I'm not sure that was worth it. I hope that he would stay inside of that hut, maybe work his way out a little bit, take the pick and run, but Zapower clearly keen to try and do something. Well, he's lost the AWP in the process.
I mean, this round was over for longer than it's been viable. We're just waiting around at this point for K23 to hopefully save 1 rifle at least. Full set of utility behind the Finnegan even yet to get himself on the scoreboard with a kill. Can't say it's solely his fault by any means. The whole team at the moment just struggling, but still, that's not going to be helping. Either way, a pretty solid round with 3 left standing here. Is there an upgrade for Lau and X as well? Yeah, there's an M4.
Should be.
So
What do we reckon?
Weapon.
Finnegan saving to avoid the James Bond 007. I don't know if he's got an assist yet.
Well, I mean, save might be worthwhile because they have enough to get out a couple rifles at least. They might try and press the issue here. They know the economy still hasn't really built up too much on that Sprout side. They managed to, again, get kind of the bare minimum of 2 kills there in that previous round. So they can still, in theory, break Sprout with just 1 round win. But it looks like they're happy to go for the half investment around the rifle. That I'd agree with. Let's see, though. Can Finnegan get a kill on the Vlad, as you said, the James Bond? Does he have an assist? Oh, he has an assist.
I think he's got
it
one.
Won't happen.
I think we're good. Problem is, it does disjoint his economy from the rest of the team really viciously, right? Especially with this kind of half investment coming into this one rather than the full force. Needs to get some kind of impact out of that saved AK-47. X5 just feigning a little bit of presence. Everyone else charging outside, and they will get down that vent. Molotov a little late from Stair. He'll have to drop, and he'll have to be quick with it. Multiple bodies already in towards this lower site, and Zapower, quick as lightning, takes the head off of Stair. It's onto Lau and X inside of this lower site. Needs multiple. Spray down onto the second is good. Klax goes down. That's bomb spotted. Refresh continues to thin the numbers as now the support lines are being ran. And Finnegan, again, he's in towards that area where potentially there's some impact. Does find one, but with the trade immediately there for Refresh, you do start to wonder if it was really worth it. X5 has managed to get his hands on an AK-47 at least, and Lau and X, well, he's not going to let him do anything with it. 2 quick dinks, the job is done, and the momentum is firmly in the court of Sprout at the moment, Dean.
Yeah, but see, if you were here yesterday, you still would be kind of like iffy about this. It's not. It should be a confident lead, but it's really not, considering they were on. Yesterday they were up 10-1 on Ancient, a map that Entropic hadn't played in about 5 months. And Entropic were playing with their coach, and they still managed to somehow let the lead slip away and only barely close it. And then they lost a massive lead on Mirage as well. So yeah, I'm gonna wait and see how it plays out. I don't like as I said, I don't like putting predictions on Sprout. They always make me eat my words. And some good damage at least done in the early stages here from K23. It's been dished back now, unfortunately. C-Power, and then Klax manages to take some damage as well. So it is actually Sprout who managed to come out with the health advantage slightly in the early stages, but nothing too substantial. K23 looking for some outside control. They've managed to find a little bit to work with, and they have a ton of time to actually now decide what they're going to do with this.
Good amount of time. Decent utility still available as well. Smoke, handful of flashes to plan the execute. Rasian has dealt with Stare in towards Secret. That's a big opening pick to find as well. You can see the pressure on that outside control. Results in Refresh being out of position. Freebie to be found. 3 on 5 now for this CT side. And Xiphon up on top of the hut. Has dodged the molly for now, but he's on his own. He's lost all real support inside of this site. Needs a big round. There's low HP bars everywhere, and he's continuing to find them. 3 quick kills. Zapara is next, and he's only got 14 HP to work with as well. If it's expected, Xiphon will turn. A quad kill from inside of the A site. And it leaves Rasian having a transfer between 2 angles. He's got the first. He isolates the fight, and he nails it. Xiphon not able to find the ace. And well, K23, they get away with one there in a major way.
Well, all right, a little bit of a lifeline, and Rasian is the one who manages to step up and kick things off as well. So hopefully now something to build off of. And actually, the economy's in a very rough place for Sprout. Dual Berettas even on Refresh. Couple of rifles at least to work with. So you've still got some firepower that can hopefully open things up in the early stages. Slax is going to have to get a bit done with that off if they want to ease the pressure. And, well, it's actually Rasian who manages to find the initial pick around lobby. Refresh did manage a trade on those dual Berettas. Unfortunately for Steer right now, I don't think he actually realizes they've crossed over. Did hear some steps, so he's called his teammate to rotate down through the vent. So they do have someone in position at the very least. But K23 at the moment, they're successful in finding that initial pick and then just managing to pull this defense all over the place, leaving massive holes, as you can see, to be exploited. There's already a player crept out door here as well.
They're absolutely everywhere at the moment, the T side. The only shining light is that Stare aggression. He won't be expected here. Should catch someone on the timing. Oh, Zapara just about gets away with it. Plant will go down. X5 should be a freebie. Gets one. Trade immediate, though. And again, this starts to get awkward. X popping out of the vents, finds X5, and it's on to Klax with only a Mac 10 tucked behind these silos to find the 1v2. Spotted out. Flashbang goes out. X does get blinded up, found freely, and now Slack's on that AWP, switches to the pistol, trying to take advantage of the health, but it's Klax who comes out on top. And it's another massive bailout for K23, a 1v2 inside of the upper site, a Mac 10 in the hands of Klax, and he somehow makes it work.
Yeah, I mean, they're not winning these rounds maybe as convincingly as you'd hope for, but the main thing is they are managing to get the notches on the board, and it's going to keep on racking up for the moment since that economy is finally broken down on the Sprout side. It seems to have actually forced them to call in a bit of a pause here as well. Have a chat about what's going wrong. The problem is I don't think they're going to be able to do anything about it in this round. They'll have to wait until the following, so a fort should be pretty much confirmed for K23. And this will be their chance to hopefully have a cleaner round as well. Something a bit more convincing, not only for their economy, but for their own mental health in this case. just to know that they can do it. It's a lot more investment than I was expecting. They've actually gone all in now on 3 of the players. This is weird. 4 now, actually. X is bought up fully as well. And Slax has kept 1300, I suppose. So he'll be going for an off as early as possible, but they'll be waiting a couple of rounds at least before those guns do truly come true. X5 already bypassing, should have the retreating player down the ramp. Indeed, he does. X is not allowed to get back to safety. And with that, sure, refreshes around B, but there's nothing that he can really do about stopping a bomb plant, I wouldn't imagine.
Yep, this is one of those situations where the fourth play starts to look a little silly, picked apart by the rifles. X5's going to go for a look up the vent. It's a rough old fight for both. Mac 10 Not quite able to harness that inaccuracy on the ladder. The trade is found by Zapower 1-for-1. With just the 1 kill found, Eco to follow. I mean, K23 starting to recover this into a very respectable T-side noon.
Yeah, almost out of nowhere as well. A couple scrappy rounds that they managed to just about edge out, and then that may build itself, as you said, into potentially a really strong T-side still. This round, anyway, should be free. Didn't struggle against the armor and the pistols in the previous. This time there's only a few deagles and a P250 being upgraded. The rifles shouldn't really have too much trouble holding this one off, and as you can see already pushing straight up for this outside control, knowing they have the ranged advantage. Clack's actually running outdoor as well. They leave a rifle outside. Okay, if that gets recovered, maybe some further damage can be done, and Finnegan, thankfully with that trade, at least keeping the dream alive for K23, but this has gotten a lot closer really than you would have hoped for, and the bomb, I think, is actually out in the A bomb site currently, is it? Or main?
It looks like it's out towards main. Slacks catches the bomb carrier. Couple of clean headshots out of heaven. And this is where it starts to get a little fidgety. Problem is, Sprout, again, with really no information about what's going on. The only thing they know for sure is that bomb's got to be recovered. Slack's not looking to hold it, however, has instead worked his way in towards lower. I'm starting to wonder if they've not actually seen that bomb. There's no coverage of it at the moment for Sprout. Slacks has worked his way into the lower site. Refresh is sat outside behind Blue. He'll hear the utility coming out and must surely start to know what's going on here. Bomb's still to be picked up, though, and Refresh, well, he's found himself an AK-47. As that smoke starts to fade, there should be a timing. Could be a major one. He'll hear them drop down this vent. He'll get all of the information he needs. Slacks suddenly looks like the genius, tucked, nestled inside of this lower site. Bomb to go down. This is a free kill for him, and there it is. Zapower now last up, spamming the P250, gets one. Down to 6 HP, a single deagle bullet will do it, but the no-scope connects. And once again, it's the typical storyline. It's K23 bailing themselves out of a nightmare scenario and finding a 5th round that they just shouldn't have had there.
Yeah, I mean, they win it. Again, that is the main thing. And they actually do have a little bit of money in the reserve, but every one of these rounds that should have been there's a lot easier. It's just been a bit of a struggle. So it does worry me for the fact now that Sprout have the guns again. And may just come swinging right back at K23 with the potential of still a 10-5 half, which would be pretty good for Sprout on the CT side. Stare. Oh, didn't hear the player above him. Dropped down on by Finnegan. Refresh doesn't catch the timing to get the refrag either. He may indeed be able to do something about this cross on outside, though. Fully commits to the swing. I thought he may have even got Finnegan before being traded from behind, but no, Finnegan turns around, takes his head, and forces a reaction now from those A players, and it's one that may actually work in K23's favor.
X5's ready for this. Should be a freebie. Is indeed, and that's the entire lower site presence now gone. Zyphon's flank does pay off for one. But again, the problem is with limited economy, they're both on the upper site. It's a 2-on-3 retake into lower. Do you really want to commit yourselves to that? They've dropped one down. Zyphon is out of these vents like a shot, and he finds a clean headshot onto Rajin as well. Slack spots one on upper, and they know now that there's an isolated fight to be had in towards this lower site. The pace starts to increase. They want to get out now, but it's X5 playing the smoke expertly. Both kills found. A 1v2 site hold for him. A 6th round on the board for K23. And another economic disaster for Sprout as they try and work out what kind of half buy they can put together in the second to last round of this first half.
It'll only be the last round of the half, really, where they can fully buy, though. So for now, just Deagles and Kevlar. Again, it'll probably lead to a 1v1 or something, but K23 will edge it. We'll have to see how it really plays out, though. Side control again being one of the main focuses. They keep alternating back to this whenever they know that the buy isn't going to be fully there for Sprout, which is understandable. Avoiding the spams, taking the control now down towards Secret, and actually focusing a lot more in this area than they really have done so in the past. I don't think they're actually going to send the bomb fully in. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. They've lost lobby control in the meantime, though, so they don't really have a lot of other choices to work with. Their focus will pretty much have to remain towards either outside or down Secret.
If they go down Secret, there's a nasty little surprise waiting for them. A lot of bodies here, but they want to push the issue. Asian should be ready for it. Deagle spams better, though. Slack's desperately trying to harness it for a second. Can't quite find it. And that should be the pivotal kill now. Stare able to get one, but the trade again is immediate. Launex, his timing is going to be everything if he's going to get any impact in this round. But for now, he is locked out by the squeaky door. Zyphon locked out by the Molotov as the upper site is conceded. And now Launex needs a clean headshot. Grabs the first. Klax goes down second onto Finnegan. And Zapao once more asked to clutch this one up. They know exactly where he is. And Zyphon will chime in. Sprout get away with murder, but it's a murder that they've been plotting for a long time, Dean. There's been several of these rounds that have gone down to the wire. Every time K23 have come up clutch. And this time Sprout do manage to stick the landing.
Yeah, all I had to do was say that K23 were going to win it. And this time they didn't. To be fair, the fact that it even ends up being another close round is kind of silly. Again, K23 shouldn't have had that much trouble. It's their round to win. They could have tied things up at 7-7 and maybe even still had a lead coming out of this T side, which was damn near an impossible thought in those initial stages when Sprout went up like 5-0. So, yeah, I mean, even the fact that they've got the 6, still impressive, but let's see, is that 7th round going to be theirs to take? They have the guns, they have the opportunity here to still add a little bit more to what has been a pretty impressive T side. As a lot of utility is tossed out by both sides here in the early stages. They're just about catching the timing on Rajin. That was this time the only player lurking around towards outside, so should give them a little bit more leeway to put their focus back towards where this execute is likely to come true. And it does seem like they're focusing towards ramp. Unfortunately, taking the peak before everyone's ready.
Yeah, a little bit of a freebie for Slacks, and now you can see this CT side know exactly what's coming. 3 bodies in towards this upper site, smokes up through the spam. Stare finds one. That bomb now dropped as well. Finnegan able to recover it, but taking more damage in the process. He and Zapao left, trying to assemble something to beat this AWP of Slacks. It's going to be the boost up, or even the jump across, but Slacks is up for it. Finnegan is left 1v4. They're not going to give him any respect at all. Zyphon with the freebie, and as we head into the half, Sprout with a 9-6 lead.
love it, you wear it. Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
All right, 9-6 as we head into the second half. A scrappy affair to start off. Nuke to say the very least, but it is Sprout who find themselves with the lead, and a not inconsequential one at that. A relatively even trade to open things up, and now it's a question of what creativity they've got on their T side, Dean.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. They definitely cooled off. Bit of a recovery towards the end to at least come out with 9, as you said, but it could have been a lot better. And if they lose this pistol, they could be in trouble. K23 looking to try and get things going on the CT side early on. That's going to really limit the information they're actually getting as this cross the secret comes in. Unsure if it's fully come true. Of course, Z-Power had been kept busy with that fight from Silo as he goes down. Slacks picks off another, and things are not looking great here. It's going to be Rajin who has to go huge, and he's only good for the one. He tried to stand his ground, but those Glocks up close are just a bit too much to deal with.
This could still get awkward for them. I thought Clax was going to halt upper with those dualies, but instead the CT's looking to group. Get a little bit of information down towards that lower site. Finnegan hoping that he sees something on this outside pick, but without armor, he's got to be very cautious. Flashbang and HE won't be much use of his 6 foot under. Clax does clear this lower site, and Sprout, they're waiting for a mistake to be made, but thus far, K23 not giving it to them. Bomb looking to make its transfer back towards upper, and there's a lot of low HP bars on that transfer. Bomb just about survives it, 10 HP, and this is where Clax could do his work now. Looking to pop out of the vents. Timing is everything. Lawonks is watching it, but he gets his head taken off and make it 2. Everyone else is low, and it's a demolition job. The bomb doesn't even go down. A 2v4 conversion, and what a way to start your CT side for K23.
Alrighty. Yeah, Sprout need to stop letting rounds slip away. That should be theirs. A lot of them in that first half as well. Now the pistol round. It's going to leave them on a full eco, giving K23 an 8th round. And if they win that first gun round, then most likely the lead. And while this is K23's map choice, still, we've got to remember, again, Sprout went up like 5-0 initially. And even after we seen a round go to K23, I think they traded it back and then managed to get traded back on again. Interesting little stack up here, expecting this outside aggression. You don't really see anyone push this too often, though, although you might get someone now. Z-Power's tempted.
It's one of those ones where if it works, you look super intelligent.
Okay.
If it doesn't, it looks a bit stupid. And we're going to find out which way it lands here. Okay, 2 from Z-Power. That's not awful. Finds at least a trade. They'll allow an X able to pick up the MP9, but there should be plenty here to mop up the pieces. And indeed, Rajin actually coming in with all 3 of those is a big result again for that CT side, right? 2 kills for Z-Power on his MP9, 3 for Rajin. The drops will come in. Z-Power will have his AWP. And it's not a bad buy again coming into the next one. The only real sacrifices, Finnegan down on a FAMAS, Rajin sticking with the MP9. Of course, X5, any other map in the world, you're calling the auto shotgun a sacrifice. Upper sight on Nuke, perfect weapon. Get those crocodile jaws clicking together. So let's see what Sprout have got, because this very quickly looks like a tied game, and very quickly that momentum starts swinging back the way of K23.
I mean, the momentum has kind of been there since they started winning rounds. Even the couple that Sprout have taken since then were not easy ones. Hard fought for. Good start, though, at least from Steer here, as Rajin goes very aggressive ahead of those outside smokes. Surprisingly so. I mean, they've gone aggressive around there in the last couple of rounds as well, so I thought they'd probably slow it down coming into the initial gun round. No, punished instead. I know Oshati and a FAMAS in play as well, so even out of the weapons that are remaining, it is not perfect. They're actually going to rotate 2 players down, expecting that the full crosses come in. Of course, we know it's just 1 player in warehouse right now. Everyone's setting up for this lobby push.
It's one of those panic rotations. They've got no real info towards lower. There was a big timing where the smokes allowed a potential cross, so have to clear their options. That will, of course, been heard. Stare now aware of the possibility. Remains trained on the angle, and if he can get a kill on this rotation, it's a gift. X5 goes down free. Clax is there and will catch there with an aid in hand. So the trade at least is found. Orp spotted, but Zapata still finds a kill. Again, trades a little frenetic, and Clax able to find two as he buys a 1v1 for his teammate. It's an awkward old fight, but Finnegan has got it on the Famous. Refresh just not expecting that second player in towards main whatsoever. Gives his life away. And we level things out at 9 apiece. Another one of those rounds, Dean. Big opening pick found. Sprout in a position of advantage. And just one big moment. A double spray down from Clax buys them the equalizing kill. Just like that, K23 able to stabilize it.
See now what sort of response Sprout are going to have coming into this next gun round, where they're going to be the ones that are fighting from behind for a change. They had that slight comfort of always having a buffer, even if things were going as things were going wrong in that first half. Rather, that's no longer going to be in play. A few deagles are upgraded, that's all. Again, the outside smokes. This time no one pushes ahead of them. It obviously does mean they have very little info about what's actually going on, but they can call Finnegan to rotate down through vents, as you see, and they still have a pretty good setup with Z-Power also giving some assistance with the op towards outside. Should spot the weapon there, I believe. Indeed.
Yep. Should be free at this point. Maybe give away AE kill to these deagles at worst, but the rifle's just chipping away at the pieces. Nice and smooth. Zyphon last up. Very quickly put down. And that's more like it. Smooth sailing from K23 against the half-buy. Something that we never really saw Sprout finding any consistency with, if we're honest. It was always a tough fight. Always a bit of an arm wrestle to get those half-buys to bed. You can see that result in the economy of the CT side. One good round. They're starting to build up that bank, starting to get a little bit of momentum behind themselves. Rifles are back out for Sprout, but pretty much need impact immediately out of this buy. Otherwise, Nuke's going to start slipping by them.
Very aggressive push from Z-Power, nearly actually lined up a collateral, and, well, even only getting away with one manages to be enough in this situation as Raijin manages to find the back of Refresh there from Secret. Stair actually does win that initial fight. Unfortunately, there was just a double peek in from Heaven as well, so well played. K23, they're working well off of each other at the moment, and with that, they're dwindling down the numbers for Sprout, leaving it all onto Slacks, and, well, he doesn't expect this player on ramp already. He has no idea. Raijin had rotated all the way back down through Secret. He'll even recover the op to be gifted back over to Z-Power, and, well, it's 11-9. Sprout likely going to have to concede another round before they can put up any sort of a fight as well. This is slipping away from them, and I am not super confident in their Mirage, because it's still a map that K23 can play, and we've seen Sprout struggle on it yesterday, so I would imagine K23 were having a little bit of a look at that matchup versus Entropic to see exactly where Sprout went wrong and where they might be able to abuse those weaknesses as well. So it's going to be rough.
Sprout taking the time out now, and you can understand why. It does feel, like you said, this one's slipping away from them, and Mirage is one of those maps. You know, K23 can play it. They've had some results. They've been able to take a couple of teams close to the line. It's not a map that they're completely down and out of. And it's certainly not a map that Sprout are necessarily completely confident and strong in, right? Losing it to Entropic yesterday, losses to Finest or X-Finest. Bad news, the Eagles taking down on it as well. There's definitely holes in it. Aware that this nuke could prove critical. Outside control taken this time, however. Smokes will get them down into Secret for free. Finnegan, of course, aware of the possibility. We're going to have a lot of bodies flooding his crosshair very shortly. Two more to follow. Refresh able to trade it clean. And now that lower site starts to look vulnerable. X5 still tucked into dark. The couple of angles now to deal with, however, he wants to try and deny this plant. Inside of the smoke, Zapata will do it instead. And that's now awkward for Sprout. They needed that bomb to go down desperately. Instead, it drops in front of the smokes. And the two Deagles and one Tech-9 that remain have got to recover the impossible. X5 with a clean kill onto Slacks. And at this point, Launex and Zyphon, if they can grab a kill apiece before they go down, at least they're doing some economic damage. There is gaps, there is possibilities, but Launex now dinked up. So Power's dealt with his teammate. And this one feels like it's going to fall by the wayside. Indeed, it does. The 12th on the board for K23. Their CT side continuing to stretch its legs.
Yeah, it is seeming like a bit of a casual stroll at this point, almost. In comparison to the more chaotic, at least second part of that first half that we got. And the guns, the up again for Slacks. There's nothing lacking. I mean, Slacks really could do with a few more nades, but that's the only thing that you could maybe nitpick. And C-Power, I think, wants to go in for this door aggression again. Did something very similar in the previous round, so it's a very, very crazy attempt once again, but it works out. He had to support the Finnegan. There was a player tucked in close left that he managed to bait out. He wasn't expecting a player on top of the hut once again, as the op had already dropped, and with no real opportunity to fight yet from Sprout, it's already a 5-on-2. Can't even manage to get the numbers out before it gets even worse for them.
Refresh able to grab at least a kill, but the angle's awkward for him on the trade, and X5 there immediately. And as you said, this is just going from bad to worse. K23 are keeping their foot on the accelerator. They're not letting Sprout breathe on this T side. And well, that pain continues. Finnegan deals with Slacks. It's 13 on the board. The economy once again is in that awkward halfway house for Sprout. And K23, I mean, you're talking about how aggressive and how proactive they're being, right? But it feels like the perfect call for what Sprout are doing, because Sprout needs to settle into this game. They need a round to just stabilize them, to calm them down. They're taking another timeout here as they're trying to work out how to piece together that one round that will give them an entry back into this second half. And every time they do, every time they take a pause, every time they start to get the rifles out again, K23 are just in their face, just punching them straight on the nose and making absolutely sure that they're rattled and that they're sort of scrapping for these kills where they can find them. And it's working out brilliantly. It really does feel like, I don't know what the response is from Sprout. They're playing passively, they're waiting for the aggression, but K23 just landing their shots.
No one really needed to do all of the work either. It's been a very solid team effort across the board from K23, which is always nice to see. Outside smokes again. These are a pretty consistent part of the default so far we've seen from Sprout, and they tend to be these deeper ones as well to restrict control. Whether they're working towards secret or if they want to go in towards garage, they put these deeper ones so that it's always kind of a question in the back of the mind of K23. Unfortunately, obviously, it hasn't been working too well for them so far, and as they do get down secret, they are spotted because of those deeper smokes. So rotations are definitely going to be called down. But it's not a lot of presence. It is only 2 players. If they can pull players away from the ramp, perhaps a split in could be a good option, and that looks like it might be the call.
Feels like it is. You can see Clax toying between that ramp and going down to support his teammate. Boost up the stair to give him the angle. Can't land the shot. Big kill to miss out on, but Clax will be drawn in. Bomb still deep outside of the hut here as they start to think about going back up, but X5 has dealt with the lurk. Both B players gone. And suddenly, again, if they stay alive an extra 10 seconds, this looks solid. Instead, it starts to look like a very one-dimensional offensive. Zapow gets the freebie, Finnegan chimes in, and well, X5 dancing on the ladder finds the finale. And it puts them 14-9 up, a 5-round buffer. This is arguably the last chance for Sprout. If this goes wrong, we're already looking down the barrel of Mirage, and you're looking down a barrel of Mirage with a K23 absolutely flying at the minute.
Making this look kind of easy at the moment. As I said, Mirage is also a map that they are capable of playing, even if their stats don't look too fantastic on it. It's a bit up and down, but losses in there featuring like Big and AGO, so somewhat understandable. C-Power lands the little flick. It wasn't a massive one, but still wasn't too sure where that pick was going to come in, and it was a dangerous fight for sure, as the trades again in the early stages just all go the way of K23. Although that one was maybe a bit unnecessary. X5 wanted to go aggressive through ramp. I guess at that point expecting with the chaos everywhere else that no one would be watching it. Not quite the case though.
This is winnable now. There's timings all over the shop. Zapow misses the shot and Refresh able to find the kill. Clax now aggressive, trying to look for the info, but that's going to lead him right into the crosshairs of Lau and X. Trade should again be found though. Finnegan is there. And this chaos just continues. 1v1 now. Refresh up against Finnegan. Finnegan's tucked himself into the ramp, and I'm not sure Refresh is necessarily going to expect that. In fact, they're just going to pass each other. Refresh working his way into the upper site as Finnegan clears his way towards the ramp. We'll, of course, hear this bomb going down sooner rather than later, and it's going to be a question of timing and mind games now. Refresh with a full belt of utility available. That bomb goes down. You can see Finnegan aware. Has to stay silent, though. If he gives his position up, Refresh will lock him out with that utility. First, the smokes goes down. Wrong angle. Refresh still not looking towards heaven. Doesn't expect Finnegan to be anywhere near, but he pivots on it. Lightning fast on the headshot. Deals with Finnegan. Buys Sprout the miracle round that they so desperately needed. And gives them perhaps half a glimpse of a way to get back into this game.
It's a lifeline, it's a start, but they're going to need a lot more on top of that now. I am wondering whose pause this is exactly.
It's Sprout again.
Yeah.
Third one.
I was going to say, even with some success being found, you need to ensure now you can somehow manage to pull back, ideally, 6 more rounds without dropping anything, because you'd be looking for the win here without an overtime if possible. That's not going to be an easy task. 2 more rounds, though. I mean, even just after this round, you'd already have a couple players who don't quite have everything for the full buy on the side of K23, so you'd already be weakening them. This may be the harder of the buys that they have coming.
Certainly is the opportunity there. Taking the pause just to reflect on it, find the best way in. Still not the perfect buy, as you said. You're going to see Stare and Refresh down onto Galil's. They get done with them is the question. Again, it's going to be an aggressive stance to open things up. Zappa peering in towards lobby. Finnegan to open things up instead, however. Lauenex found. Has managed to get a man down secret, though, in the form of Stare, and that potentially could be huge. You're starting to see awareness of it, but this is just chaos across the map. 3 players in towards the ramp. X5 playing a very passive hold on it, but it nets him a freebie. Trade at least found by Stare, but there is still bodies available here for the CT side. And, well, X5 thinking about another look at it. Stare missing the timing onto Finnegan could be everything as well. X5 does go down. And now this B site feels vulnerable. Finnegan does not know where Stare has got to. And that's going to open up his back here. Finnegan surely going to be found. Stare looks the wrong way as well, and this is now chaos. X of Power looks for the crosshair. Discipline finds the double, and Stare has no idea Finnegan is there whatsoever. I don't even know, Dean. My brain has just failed to comprehend quite how that round went down.
Oh, I don't know. My brain is melting from watching Sprout play these last 2 days. My last 2 vested 3s have been Sprout throwing away massive leads.
Yep.
On a consistent basis. It's the only time I can use the word consistent for Sprout.
That one's going to hurt. That is... Oh, that's the power with the trigger discipline. Gets it done. I don't know why I said crosshair discipline. My brain's coming out my ears just like you. They're going to try and up the pace here, but Finnegan with 2. Blinded, still able to find the double. Clacks in with a double of his own, and this surely is it. Stare, the last man up. A 1v4 on the Deagle to prevent K23 taking their map pick. The nade chiming in. That's tagged him as well. They know exactly where he is on 44 HP. Inside of that smoke. He's going to wait it out. This is not a fun place to be for Stare. Molotov behind him. He won't be too able to retreat. He's got to push forward. Has no choice, and Clax isn't going to give him one. Triple kill to finish it. A flying first map from K23, and we'll be back to break it all down in just a few moments.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style?